Okay guys, I'm here today with Gordon Ryan, a huge honor for me as always. And guys, today Gordon is going to explain here to us one concept that he has that it's amazing. That's what every white belt and blue belt should know. So in Jiu-Jitsu. So he was explaining to me like what every white belt should focus in Jiu-Jitsu from white to blue belt, and then what every blue belt should focus in Jiu-Jitsu from blue to black belt. So can you share that, Gordon?
Yeah,
that was amazing.
So there's nothing worse than walking out on your first day and just having no sense of direction as to where you should be going. Many people walk in, they get taught a new move every day, and so here's a move today, here's a move tomorrow, and do your best with it. The whole goal of our sport is to be able to submit your opponent. Okay, picture yourself on top mount against somebody, and you want to go for an armbar, but you know that if you go for that armbar from top mount and you lose it and you end up on bottom and maybe in side control or with your back taken perhaps, that there's no way you're ever going to be able to escape, right? The chance of you attempting that armbar drastically decrease because of the fear that you'll get held in a situation or submitted if you were to lose that armbar. So you end up just holding positions, you hold mount for the whole round, and then nothing ever happens. And you kind of lose that sense of going into a match with the idea of, okay, I have to control this guy, but I also have to eventually submit him. So what gives you the confidence to open up and to go for attacks and try to go for submissions is your ability to escape both bad positions and submissions. So that if you have the confidence where you can escape, now you're in top mounted in an armbar, you can confidently go for that armbar knowing that even if you miss it, you end up bottom guard, bottom half guard, bottom side control, bottom mount with your back taken, with you in an armbar, yourself, the guy ends up in mount on you after you fail, and he gets an armbar, that you can either escape those bad positions or those submissions. Okay, so the first thing you should be looking at, which is the opposite of what most people tell you. Most people tell you how to attack first, is actually escaping bad positions and submissions. Okay, so from white to blue belt, you should focus on your pin escapes and submission escapes. All right. This will give you the confidence at later belts to be able to go in and actually attack your own submissions, knowing that if you end up in a bad spot, that you can escape and easily go back into your offensive attacking cycle. So from white to blue belt, you start by first learning how to escape and defend, and then from purple to black belt, that's when you focus on going in and attacking people. Okay, you have submissions, you have positions, guard passing, sweeps, things like that. All right, but without the ability and the confidence to escape bad spots, you're never going to have the confidence to go in and attack submissions knowing that you could end up in a bad spot.
Good. So Gordon, so kind of breaking down here, so what you did on your career, white and blue belt, you pretty much focus way more on escapes than attacks. And then purple, brown, and black, you kind of switch a little more to attacks. If you had to break down like belt per belt.
Yeah, that's what I should have done. It's not what I actually did. But when I started to train under John, I was a blue/purple belt when I started training full time with John, and my escapes were terrible. If I ever got into a bad spot, I wouldn't be able to escape. So John basically started teaching me as if I was a white belt, because when I started training with John, I was very, very bad at jiu-jitsu. So the first thing John taught me was escapes. And once I was confident that no one could hold me down and no one could submit me, that gave me the confidence to start going into attacks, because John started us with leg locks. So every time I would try to put an ashigarami in place, I would either get my guard passed or my back taken. People would crush me, or they would take my back. And at first I was just getting held down with people past my guard or getting my back held for the round, and I was getting so frustrated that I couldn't escape. And then John was teaching us leg locks and escapes at the same time. So that I could have the confidence to go for leg locks, knowing that even if I got my guard passed, I would be able to just escape and go right back into attacking. So I did it the wrong way coming up. That's why it took me so long to progress from white to purple brown belt. But then at brown belt, when I started to have that confidence and gain that confidence, my career really started to take off from brown belt until current date.
So if you would teach the young Gordon Ryan, you would teach him escapes as white belt, focus 80% on escapes. Blue belt, you would still escapes, or you would start switching to?
Yeah, so first positional escapes, then submission escapes, and then you start to build at blue to purple belt from not only escaping, but escapes into attacks. Okay, you
Okay.
have to remember there's offensive and defensive cycles. You can't just escape, defend, because then your opponent stays in an offensive cycle where every time you go to defend, they just keep attacking. So you're only just defending. It's no good. You have to get into a situation where you go into escapes right into attacks on submissions. Okay, that should be, obviously you have to learn some submissions. You can't just go all the way, you can't just spend 4 years from white to purple belt focusing on, not having any submissions, but your main focus should be on escaping, defending submissions, and then transitioning into going from a defensive cycle where you're going from bottom side control or bottom mount, and instead of just escaping, going right back into your own attacks, whether it be a sweep or a submission. The guy has your back, and instead of escaping and ending up top guard, you escape and you go right into a leg lock, for example.
Okay. No, man, that's amazing. And guys.